Hey there! By now I am sure most of you are pretty familiar with the Earthen of Khaz Algar. However, Earthen originally were very different. Earthen were the second Titan creations made directly after Trogs, using a magical metal alloy. This alloy, in some of the stories and lore bits, is sometimes referred to as living metal. When it came to World of Warcraft, we would see them not only as metallic dwarfs, but also as stones and rocks, where they emphasized that this living metal also involved living rocks and minerals for some of them, presenting a look that looked very in line with, say, the Thing from Marvel's Fantastic Four. Mainly, the Earthen spend their days watching over Titan facilities or mining and exploring deep within the planet, with Northrend being a place that they dug particularly deep in. More obscure pieces of lore that Blizzard seems to have deviated from had the Earthen also fighting demons and other creatures from below the surface of the planet in order to prevent another Legion invasion on Azeroth from any front. For the most part, though, they were loyal guardians of Azeroth's essential Underdark and the Titanic facilities, mostly with bodies of pure metal or stone, and a few of them having some decorative gems, with occasional hints that maybe, just maybe, they weren't just Titanic, but also a little elemental because of the fact that their body was made out of metal and other minerals. While there are some differences between different groupings of Earthen, such as the ones in Deepholm being able to have kids to a degree, the ones I wish to focus on are the ones with the War Within and Khaz Algar. These Earthen got an entirely overhauled variation of the species. These Titanforged beings have of course developed a culture and artistic style similar to that of the other dwarfs post-Curse of Flesh, and the reasoning behind that is debatable, but not entirely important at the moment. What is important, however, is their connections and reliance on gemstones. These Earthen effectively aren't real dwarfs, at least not in the sense that their bodies are their true selves. Instead, each one of these Earthen are really just crystallized gemstones that take on a life of their own, with each one of them having a core gemstone that is also referred to as their memory gem. These gems hold their entire programming and memories within. The various quests and side quests from the Isle of Dawn and the Ringing Deeps talk about the importance of their memory gems, effectively linking them to an Earthen version of a soul. We learn that as an Earthen gets too old, has its body badly damaged, or is effectively just depleted of its battery, it would go into the Ringing Deeps and be reborn through the Awakening Machine. This machine would fully restore their body and allow them to return to society for however long an Earthen typically lasts for, or until they are once again badly injured. The only requirement that they needed in order to go through this process was to have their memory gem intact, and the machine would do the rest for them, making them in essence able to constantly reincarnate for a form of at least pseudo-immortality. Additionally, their bodies are not only confirmed to be more elemental now instead of just a hint of them having that connection, but they are also largely cosmetic, being able to change their gender on a whim, and simply eating different minerals to change their hair length, facial hair length, and the color of their hairs. Unfortunately for the Earthen, a large story element for the War Within is that their awakening machine had been offline for a very long time, so new Earthen could not be created through gems, and they also could not restore themselves either. This would actually be a key factor into why more Earthen were switching to the Unbound lifestyle, as they no longer held faith within the Titans and saw themselves all as doomed to die out. Earthen, who had been unbound before the machines going offline, were already accustomed to the idea of not being able to reawaken, having key areas and shrines where they would go to in order to fully shut down when their time came, whereas the Earthen who had stayed true to their edicts used to be given a choice, to either reawaken or to shut down and have their memory gem added into the archives, so that future Earthen could access the memories and programming of Earthen who had chosen to end their cycle. These concepts are very similar to, and likely inspired by, pop culture shows and books such as the Trollhunters series, which was later made into a TV show on Netflix, and 2013's Steven Universe, In Troll Hunters, there are Acaridians, aliens who have bodies made of hard light, but their core is effectively a crystal, and if the body is damaged, it can be restored so long as that core is left to regenerate it. Whereas in Steven Universe, it has the alien race of gems, who share a lot with the Earthen of Khaz Algar, both having a somewhat technological, but also magical memory core gem. This gem can also be used to regenerate their body, and their bodies are largely cosmetic extensions of that gem. In WoW, with its awakening machine, however, we would eventually discover a dark side to their society. Not only does this machine heal and restore an Earthen, it also rewrites their memories and shoots them out with only the most basic knowledge of who they are at first, and what their assigned mission and task is, with the machine even having been used as a punishment for some Earthen, as it would send them back to be re-educated on what their purpose is and what they should be doing with their life. This is another link to Steven Universe, as in that show, the diamonds who ruled Gem Society were often the ones who ended up spearheading the creation of new gems, and they had equipment that they used to punish any insubordinate gem who defied their intended roles. This equipment would reset them back to basically a factory setting, on top of the fact that a cracked core gem is also one of the hardest and sometimes incurable ways that a gem can be damaged or put into offline mode forever. Just like how damage to an Earthen's memory gem seems to hinder their ability to effectively come back, even with the reawakening machine. Of course, for those who have unlocked the Earthen as an allied race, you will have experienced a cutscene where Magni pushes Azurite into the awakening machine, which not only restarts it, but also seems to imply that from now on, Earthen will be able to regenerate with free will and not be re-educated should they return to the machine. What do you guys think of this connection? Personally, I like that they added more depth into the Earthen with Khaz Algar, and the references to Steven Universe kind of made the Earthen more interesting to me at first, as I honestly didn't care at all for them or wanted to engage with their story, but the more I read in the expansion and picked up on those things, the more it just was fascinating to me how they had the story woven for that specific race.